Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey with Lisa and Usman on 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a licensed therapist and a professor. Let's watch and see if I have any reactions that you will enjoy or learn from.
And I'm excited to see that part of him because, let's face it, I've never met any celebrities, let alone be engaged to one.
You have to be patient because you may kind of see some ladies trying to, that does not mean they're my girlfriends.
So great. So Usman is like, look, you're going to see me play live and you have to be patient because you're going to see some women cheering me on, but you have to realize that does not mean they are my girlfriends. And he's trying to head the insecurity off of the past, which is great. And that seems like a reasonable thing, of course. Some of his fans are going to be women, and they're going to cheer for him. So this is an opportunity for her to be differentiated and look inside of herself and see, okay, I still feel jealous and worried I'm going to lose you to these women, but I have to sift through my emotions and my thoughts and be like, well, that's what my emotions are telling me. I'm afraid, but I have to think about this for a second and say like, well, yeah, those feelings are overblown. They're paranoid. They are there, and I don't want to try to get rid of them because they're here to stay, but they're not rational. Those aren't rational thoughts. If women are in the audience cheering him on, yeah. Now, let's see if she can differentiate like that in this moment.
But then I'm going to expect you to know how to handle it.
No, I'll handle it.
I am a little nervous and a little bit anxious about going to the club because I don't know how his female fans are going to act.
So then she throws it right back into his face of like, well, I'm going to expect you to know how to handle it. What does that mean? Like, what is he supposed to do? He's a performer, and all of his fans are going to be cheering, and some of them are going to be women, and maybe some of the women are going to be making eyes at him, but that's just how things, what is he supposed to do? Go on stage. By the way, everyone, I just want to make sure that none of you women look at me or cheer me on because that's how I'm handling. I mean, what is he supposed to do?
Lisa doesn't like the music video director because he's decided to shoot a video and to use model in this song.
Entertainment. Hello, baby girl, Lisa. You know, anytime I talk to you on phone, I always told you that I love you.
The first video sucked.
I re-edited the video to take out the model.
You know, I could see how Lisa would be reasonably hurt by that. Now, how do we deal with that hurt and insecurity is the big question. But, you know, imagine your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend is in a music video saying how much they love someone, and then there's a model. You know, actually, I can speak to this because my wife is a model, and she does commercials and print ads and this kind of thing. And sometimes she'll be with another guy, and they'll be married or half naked, and you know, in some Vogue magazine article or something. And you know, I'm not going to lie, it's not my favorite part of her job. But I have enough security, not only from my parents, making me feel like I'm a good enough person and people aren't just going to fly away from me. I've been through enough therapy myself that I can reach out to my wife when I do feel insecure in a way that has never accused her of it. If anything, I find it to be, I kind of transform it into kind of funny. I kind of make fun of her a little bit. I'll be like, oh, did that guy have nice breath? That kind of thing. Or I'll be like, well, anyway. So, you know, I've been in her shoes. I've had that feeling. I've had that jealous feeling. Like, ugh, you know, that's not great. But what do we do with it? Now, Lisa is exhibiting that she's uncomfortable, that she's upset. They changed the video for her. There's another red flag here. When the friend walked in, she didn't even really turn to him. She seemed like, what's this person doing here? Because I think she's adopting this policy of, I don't want anyone around except for Usman. I don't want his friends. I don't want his family. I just want him all to myself. That is a result probably of attachment insecurity, and she's resorting to things that she thinks are going to help her be secure, but will likely push him away because he's going to be like, why are you so angry and disapproving of all of the people that are close to me in my life when you have no reason to be that way? So let's see what happens here.
I'm going to introduce you to my good friend. His name is Abba S-Boy. He's a musician. He's a movie actor. This is baby girl Lisa.
Welcome.
I'm happy to introduce Lisa to Abba because, in general, Lisa make my career more difficult. I tell Lisa that I'm making so much sacrifice for her, but she's not seeing it. I want her to hear from a colleague in the music industry. Maybe she will understand it better.
So my cat wants to join. What do you think about Lisa? What do you think about Usman? Huh? Ooh. Biting words. Controversial. So this is interesting that Usman is having, this is his strategy. My cat is very vocal. So Usman is saying that he is, concerned about Lisa's attitude and behavior towards his career, and he's hoping that his colleague will be able to explain to her. I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. A different strategy would be for him to really sit her down and try to connect with her insecurities, so that, because it's not that she doesn't understand the music industry, it's because she is attachment insecure, and that is causing her to do all the things that's annoying him. And so a different strategy would be to go straight for that rather than explaining it, which is what a lot of people will do. When you have an attachment insecure person who is invading your space, a common reaction is, well, if I just explain things to them, like, well, sometimes at work, I can't text you, or sometimes at work, we go late. And so the fact that I was late home was because of that. Or, maybe if you talk to my boss, you'll understand that work is really complicated right now, and that's why I can't spend as much time with you. It makes sense that you would go there, but it usually doesn't work. By the way, I want to remind everyone, subscribe, hit the bell below. I'm probably not pointing in the right direction. Subscribe, hit the bell below. Also, become a patron on patreon.com. I really kind of emphasize that. Become a patron. That's the best thing you can do for our podcast. Also, comment below. What do you think about what I'm saying? What have you been through experiences like this before? Also, as I always say, this can't be a replacement for therapy. You should never think about this YouTube channel as being a replacement for therapy. You should go to therapy yourself. And also, I can never diagnose from afar. Everything I'm basing my words on and opinions and conceptualizations and speculations has to do with what the producers are showing me and what the actors choose to show the cameras. All right, let's move forward.
Really? You didn't like the video?
I did not like it.
Okay.
I took away from the concept of the song.
So I edited the video to take out the mother. All the shots that lady was in, taken away.
Are you serious? Lisa, you're causing a lot of trouble here.
So as I've talked about in previous videos, this is a triangulation. There's nothing wrong with triangulation, but you have to be aware of it as you're going through it so that it doesn't become dysfunctional. So in a triangle, you have two people who are in conflict or tension, which is Usman and Lisa. Lisa is attachment insecure, she's jealous, and she's exhibiting behaviors that are bothering Usman. Usman is trying to manage it, and he wants to, change her behavior. Instead of going to her directly and having a sit down and really trying to figure out between the two, he is triangulating a third element, which is this colleague of his. And he had this pre-conversation where he went to his friend and said, you have to, she gets very jealous and you have to help explain. So now the anxiety that was originally between Usman and Lisa has now transferred between friend and Lisa. Now friend is having conflict with Lisa. And it's not looking like it's beginning to be a functional triangulation, meaning that functional means that it actually helps the original dyad to resolve their conflict and adapt to a new higher level of homeostasis in which they're able to communicate better and get their needs met better. This friend is basically, starting off anyway, basically just kind of attacking her and saying, there's something wrong with the way you think. I'm guessing Lisa isn't going to respond well to that. So let's see how this plays out.
Let me ask you a question. Are you trying to destroy his music career?
Really, that is an insult. I'm going to tell you right now at this point, shut the up.
So it's just escalating, as it seemed predictable that it would go there given the triangulated thirds approach to this. Now, Usman is just sitting it out, which is common for that sort of personality where he is trying to dodge the problem. He tried to dodge it with her. He's trying to be pleasing. He's trying to make her happy. He resorts to triangulation. He's like, oh, and then this is happening, and he's just sitting back because in all likelihood for Usman, he's saying, the friend is saying what Usman really wants to say but doesn't feel comfortable saying. Now, I'm not encouraged by what's happening here, particularly Lisa, honestly. The amount of inflexibility in her attitude, I understand where it comes from, which is attachment insecurity, but this rigidness to her own point of view and her quick to react against people in situations like this is concerning for the future of this couple.
Tell your friend, take care of your friend. I don't want to hear no more from him, or I get up and I leave.
No, baby love.
You think I'm joking?
No, baby love. Wait. I'm going to handle it. Abba, you know I love her so much.
Yeah, I know you love her.
And that's why I sing.
But that doesn't mean she should destroy your career.
So, no.
You know
Okay, so great job, Usman. He started with attachment, soothing statement of, you know that I love her so much, which I'm guessing brought down her distress quite a bit in that moment. Now, what I hope that Usman does is like, okay, this triangulation stuff isn't working. I have to have a sit down with her, and we have to talk about her attachment insecurity and talk about a way that she can ask me functionally to soothe her rather than controlling my life and alienating me from all of my friends and colleagues.
Like, this guy's an idiot. I don't want to listen to him.
No, baby love. Wait.
He's disrespecting me. And
No. You may understand, baby love. You may not understand.
Really, I'm hearing you clearly. He just said he's...
I should be on my way right now. So,
You want to go?
yeah.
Okay, I will see you at the club for the premiere
No,
party.
don't. You won't
I
see
must see if I didn't see you, that is going to be a problem between you and I.
me. I wish you a safe flight back to America.
Husband's not seeing that, this is really hurting me. He was just at the table laughing about it, and I'm thinking, you're my fiance. Why are you letting this guy disrespect me and run the trash out of his mouth?
So, as usual, in the interview, they will actually be more emotionally intelligent, more vulnerable, which is more functional. She is saying that Usman doesn't understand that I'm hurting because you're not exhibiting hurt. What you're exhibiting is anger and control and unreasonableness and overreaction and conflict with the friend. Now, the friend didn't do any favors to the situation by his approach, but I'm hoping that Lisa can eventually just say, what's happening right now is hurting my feelings and I'm afraid of losing you, Usman. I hope that she can see that and identify that, because that would help if she could own that feeling, which would give Usman a chance to address that feeling, rather than what is developing is she is a ball of control and overreactivity, and he is dancing around, walking on eggshells, trying to manage that.
I'll let you have a few minutes with him.
No, baby love.
No, I'm leaving.
What's up?
This guy is the most disrespectful Nigerian I have ever met. You're gonna sit there and judge me because I didn't like the video? Him. You're still in Nigeria. You're not that big of an artist. You're not that big of a producer. You're nothing.
I don't want...
So, again, I get her concern. I get her hurt. I get her fears. She has a very quick, what in internal family systems, they often call the police officer. And in schema therapy, we might call it a different mode as well. But it's a part of the self that comes to the fore that is protective of the self, and it fights, and it says, no, that is not going to happen. And swear words and insults and push away and maybe even physical fighting. She has a very quick police officer that comes to the front and brings the hammer down, which indicates a tremendous amount of trauma that she might have been through. When you have a very quick police officer, it means that you needed that police officer a lot when you were a child, when you were growing up. And any indication of disrespect or harm that might happen to you, then boom, police officer comes right up, because it's better safe than sorry. You got to protect yourself. Now, in the past, it was needed for Lisa, in all likelihood, just speculating. Now it's not needed anymore. In fact, it'll shoot you in the foot. It will cause the problem that you're trying to prevent, which is rejection from Usman.
This video is on point. The model is on point. The
Soldier
shooting,
boy.
the camera, and everything.
It's like this. I'm ready to go now. Let's go. You let your friend disrespect me.
I'm very sorry.
You want to apologize?
Hey, you know what? What did I tell you about the word sorry? Sorry can only go so far.
It's okay, it's okay. It's okay.
What's wrong with her, bro?
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Baby love.
Yeah, this doesn't bode well.
I did not expect Lisa to behave the way she behaved to Abba. He's my good friend and he's only trying to give an advice. She's not acting the way a woman is supposed to act. For a woman to get angry so quick here in our land is something that will devalue you from any man looking at you with respect. I feel very embarrassed.
All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle, in which we follow Lisa and Usman. Tune in next time when we continue with their story. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.